Hello and welcome to You've Seen It Before, movie reviews with connections in mind, and welcome back to my reaction series to each and every episode of Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. Now, if you're just joining this series in this episode, this is just my short-form reaction series where I'm giving my brief thoughts on each episode as they come out, as well as some analysis on certain plot developments and character arcs that seem familiar and where you may have seen them before. Now, with all that being said, and without further ado, let's get into Season 2, Episode 7 of Star Trek Discovery, entitled Light and Shadows. This episode features two concurrent storylines simultaneously. First, involving Michael Burnham finally catching up with her adoptive brother Spock, as he is in the middle of a psychotic break, essentially, as they're seeking more answers into his knowledge and involvement with the mysterious signals and the Red Angel. And the other story is involving the Starship Discovery and the main crew as they investigate a time distortion / rift where Captain Pike and Ash Tyler are in a shuttle that is trapped in this rift, and the crew of the Discovery is trying to rescue them from this drift before they are lost in time forever. Now, this episode features several different callbacks to the Star Trek The Original Series. Most notably in plot-wise, we have the development of a Starfleet probe that the shuttle that Pike and Tyler are on launched themselves into the rift, but due to time distortions inside the rift and developments that we did not see or happened off camera, this probe returns with an artificial intelligence and a malevolent intent on the shuttle, and this is very reminiscent of the episode The Changeling with the probe Nomad, which was a Earth probe that was encountered by a technological presence, and they merged to become a new life form in that regard. Another development is the fact that the shuttle where Pike and Tyler are on have to burn their fuel reserves in order to give Discovery a pinpoint location as to where they are so that they can be rescued. Very similar, of course, to the original series episode, the Galileo 7, where Mr. Spock performed a similar maneuver in order to get the Enterprise to rescue the shuttle crew from their predicament. And finally, while it's just a mention at this point, there is definite possibilities with these the signal that Spock has been, the information that is in Spock's mind is pointing Michael Burnham towards the planet Talos 4, which is the planet that Captain Pike and Spock in the Enterprise went to in the first pilot episode of the original series, The Cage, and that's the events that were taking place during Season 1 of Star Trek Discovery concurrently. So that would be pointing us back towards that front. Another Star Trek reference that is used in this episode is the fact that both Pike and Tyler are trapped in a temporal distortion in a shuttlecraft. One's a human, one's a Klingon, and they're having to argue with each other. They're arguing with each other while trying to get out of this, and overcoming some personal issues as well, trying to figure out how the time distortions work as well. Very similar to one of the early episodes of Star Trek Voyager entitled Parallax, in which Captain Janeway and B'Elanna Torres are in a shuttle trying to get the Voyager out of a temporal distortion, and they're using a shuttlecraft, and they're dealing with temporal paradoxes as a result of those distortions. Finally, the developments of Spock containing certain knowledge in his mind, presumably given to him by the Red Angel, and the fact that this information is essentially making him insane or close to it, or mentally compromising Spock. And it seems in the preview of next week's episode that he will somehow get this information. Once he delivers this information to someone or gets to a certain location, then he will be back to his normal self. very similar, in fact, to the developments in the movie Serenity with the character of River Tam, where it's revealed that the reason that River is mentally unbalanced as it is that she has the information of the location of Miranda, as well as what happened to the colonists there. And once she is brought to Miranda, she is much more sound mind after that point. So time will tell on that second point whether it's a stronger comparison between Serenity and Star Trek Discovery, although that seems to be the direction that they're going with that. So with that said, this episode was definitely one of the better episodes of this season. I dare say it does seem like they're getting better and better as the season goes on. And this episode, I think both story arcs were definitely entertaining and good as far as that goes, though I feel like they could have spent a little more time with Michael and Spock rather than the crew of the Discovery. I felt like that story arc was a little more powerful. But that's a minor nitpick. The other minor nitpick that I had was the revelation by Empress Georgiou on the Section 31 ship that the lead Section 31 operative on that ship was responsible for killing Michael Burnham's parents. I felt like that was just kind of thrown out there for no apparent reason. And it just added unnecessary emotional baggage to an already stakes-heavy contest at this point. So those are my only major or minor nitpicks with this episode. Overall, I would say this is definitely a good episode, and the fact that they're introducing Talos 4 is very exciting. We've only ever seen it in 2 episodes of the original series. Well, 3 technically if you count the cage and both parts of the menagerie. But the fact that it'll be interesting to see how they work that back into the original series timeline, because as we know, after it was sometime after the events of the cage that I believe it was General Order 4 that stated that no Federation ship could go to Talos 4. So the question is, did that general order happen directly after the cage, or was it because of the events of the forthcoming episodes of Discovery? We may find that out. So that's an exciting development. So overall, I enjoyed this episode. I look forward to seeing next week. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts. What did you think of this episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What about my analysis? Did you disagree with something I said? Did I miss something? Let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to look for my reaction for next week's episode of Discovery, as well as, if you're interested, I'm doing a reaction series to each and every episode of The Orville Season 2, also on my channel. That'll be posted shortly tonight. Also, if you're interested, I also do movie reviews, as I said, on my channel. My most recent movie review was for How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, which is up on my channel now. If you would like, check that out. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And just remember, there is nothing new under the sun. And yes, you have seen it before.